In small enterprise and startup culture, innovation is almost easy because it's do or die. But what happens when you try to introduce and foster a culture of innovation and invention in a large-scale enterprise? What holds it back? That's this week on the Badass Agile podcast.
Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome back. What inhibits innovation in large-scale enterprise culture? Well, first, let's remember why we're here. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There's so many resources about what you need to do to be agile, but we're focused on who you need to become in order to lead teams. So let's hammer down those fundamentals to create a unique and powerful force in this industry. And if this helps you, tell your friends. As you may know, on my client teams, I do regular lunch and learns and have done it for a long time now. Now, oftentimes in organizations where I'm external and realizing that fact, I've got a mandate to fulfill and I've got a certain time frame in which to do it. And one of the things that I have to be able to do is transition away from me to them so that they can take it over and carry it on. And that includes the lunch and learn itself. So we did an interesting experiment not too long ago. We said to the team, if I were to hand over the keys to you right now, which effectively I am, thinking about the lunch and learn itself, what would you build to carry it forward? Think about what you really want for your career, your personal development, your legacy, your leave behind with this organization and beyond. The real reason why you come to these things in the first place. Why do you show up to an Agile lunch and learn? Now dream up what you want the lunch and learn to look like based on those goals. And I'll invest in building it for you and with you. This is no longer about my vision for the lunch and learn or for Agile at all. It's about yours. So you are free to build whatever you want. I'm going to say that again. You are free to build whatever you want. So we started with 10 minutes to brainstorm. And you know what they come up with? And this is interesting. Basically, they wanted a place to connect and to learn. Now, one of those words is already in the title of the thing. So at a certain point, you got to stop the brainstorming and you have to say, all right, guys, this is expectable, pedestrian stuff. We're getting warmed up, right? We're getting our muscles loose. But now I want you to dig deep. So who in the room is willing to tell me about their real hopes and dreams? Who's willing to be bold, to be brave? Tell me what they truly want. What are the things that are rolling around in your head about your future, about your destiny, that you're afraid to tell other people about? That's the stuff I want today. And remember, whatever you come up with, I'm committing to building it. So dig deep, because there's no judgment, there's no bad ideas, there's no shaming, there's no crossing things off the list. Whatever we come up with in the collective is what we're going to commit to. So at that point, people start coming up with things like, let's crush the competition. Okay, cool. But still, 95% of the ideas in the room were thinking the way we already think. Crush the competition is something we talk about often. So at this point, after a little bit of time and 2 sets of instructions, we're still not really getting to the juicy stuff. So let me ask you a question. What stops people from coming up with the answers that reflect what they secretly desire? It's either they don't desire anything, could that be it? Or is it fear? Because even though I said to them, you are free to dream, and whatever there's no bad ideas, so whatever we come up with, we'll commit to, and they still didn't come up with anything that's like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Now keep in mind, all of these people know because I straight up and blatantly tell them that I'm seriously into things like grit and resilience and bravery and heroism, because those are the kinds of people that I have a history of working with. They know that I love the sport of boxing and I have no problem throwing myself into harm's way against an opponent who wants to punch me in the nose. They know that I love being the guy you can call on when you need someone to get up and inspire an audience with absolutely zero prep. I'm the guy you call on when you need to change the minds of some of the most powerful people in a given organization. I love those challenges. I want to be the person that you think of when you want barrier-busting influence. So if the number one cause of agile and innovation failure is failure to change mindset, and everyone knows that I love the business of changing mindsets, then I, of all people in that room, am going to be the last one to judge somebody's ideas. I'm going to be the last person to suppress your freedom to think and imagine and dream. Now, these folks know me, so when I say we are free to build the things that we most secretly dream about, I'm not kidding. I'm here to get that kind of stuff done. That's my intention. That's what I want to be known for, and that's my track record. So think of all the things you could potentially learn based on not only my experiences in this area and background, but on our collective wisdom and experience. And yet, what do they say they want? Catered vegetarian wraps and a little bit of free training. Now, here's another question. When you ask people to innovate and they allow themselves to be inhibited by fear, what quality of thinking do you really think we're going to get? Are you in any way surprised that we struggle with innovation and agility? Do you really think that our core problem as a company is that we don't have the right structures, the right technology, a solid plan for innovation, the right certifications? No, BS. What you need and don't have is a place where people are encouraged to unleash their creative spirit. They don't feel free. They don't feel empowered. And more importantly, they have zero practical training, even at 30, 40, 50 years of age, in creative freedom and the creative habit. You see, these people have never been in an environment where they're truly free to really innovate. And that's not the fault of the company. That's the fault of the culture at large. Let me ask you one more question. How much of the company's time and money do you think you waste on generating this kind of pedestrian, average, safe thinking? Because this hour that we spent is just the tip of the iceberg. To what percentage of each person's day does this kind of thinking and this kind of fear extend? So what do you think your most important job is as a leader? It's to clear away those fears so that you can build a true creative and innovation habit and culture at your company. Now, I'm sure your company has some kind of innovation plan somewhere, but I'm willing to bet it doesn't look anything like it does at the big companies when you think of real creativity, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, whatever it might be. I'm willing to bet it doesn't look anything like their innovation strategy. So I wouldn't wait. I would start today. If you have a team or a group, create your own innovation mandate for this year. I know where we're going, so I know where I'm going. Because if we don't change, if we don't do something to empower innovation, it's never going to happen. The answer is not foosball tables and cool digital whiteboards. Sorry, it just isn't. Now, I'm a gadget freak and a pen freak. I spent a lot of years wishing I was a good writer. So I'd go out, buy these fun, sometimes expensive fountain pens, because they'd boost my output for a couple of weeks. The novelty got pen to paper and got me writing. I'd write like crazy just to play with the new toy, but pretty soon, the novelty fades. I'd get bored. So now I have this collection of fountain pens that I don't ever use. I really only need one. The toys and gadgets are meaningless, guys. It wasn't until I started leaping, taking small risks, knowing that 4 people were listening to my podcast, with one of them being my mom, I was free to put something out there without caring about who was going to be laughing at me. And I learned to accept that people are going to laugh. People are going to judge. People are going to hate. And that is okay. But it was only once I developed the habit of not caring and leaping and leading anyway that the thing really started to fall in place. Because that's when the real creative habit evolved. Because once I started real experimentation, my quest for learning, my quest for succeeding, pushed me to do more and more and more. So I've learned from experience that it's not about what you have. It's not about the tools in your toolbox. It's about the act and the practice. It's about the doing. Now, I can assure you that if you don't do something to push people into that jump zone, their minds will easily be occupied by their ever-increasing workloads, spread across an ever-shrinking number of qualified resources, along with the various media and marketing stimuli that they're bombarded with outside of the workplace, dealing with the everyday, handling traffic during the commute, fighting the mistakes in your grocery bill, and so on and so on and so on, not to mention the toxic stuff that invades your space and numbs the mind. People think of themselves as being liberated because they're free to choose whichever meme they retweet on Twitter. But that's not freedom of the mind. Freedom of the mind means putting those gadgets and those outside influences down. Stop regurgitating what everybody else thinks and think of something on your own. Think of something that's truly yours. So folks, if you truly expect to innovate in your firm, you're going to need to find exemplars, people who have or can demolish those fears and show great promise in developing the creative habit early. Get those people in a room and let them start chipping away at it so that they can show others and lead by example into an upcoming year of innovation and agility. Want some more inspiration to help stay sharp and reinforce the badass agile mindset and practices? Stop in every weekday and grab the latest iteration of my new book. Go to badassagile.com and subscribe to get the coming week's pages right in your inbox, or check it out at medium.com and search for the working title, Field Notes for the Agile Leader. Folks, thank you for listening. You can reach out at badassagile.com or find me on Twitter at badass_agile. I'll see you next time, and until then, stay badass.